Gene Kelly was born Eugene Curran Kelly on August 23, 1912, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, into a hard-working Irish-American family shaped by economic struggle and perseverance. Growing up during an era when stability was never guaranteed, Kelly learned early that discipline and determination were not optional, they were survival skills. Although he felt an instinctive connection to movement and rhythm, he initially resisted dance, fearing ridicule and social judgment. In his neighborhood, dancing was not seen as masculine, and Kelly endured teasing that made him wary of embracing what would later define his life. Instead, he pursued academics, enrolling at the University of Pittsburgh with the intention of becoming a lawyer. Yet fate intervened when he began teaching dance at his family's studio, discovering that movement could be both expressive and intellectually rich. That realization marked the quiet beginning of a revolution in American dance, smaying Broadway to Hollywood and a new kind of star. By the late 1930s, Gene Kelly had moved to New York City, where Broadway became his proving ground. His breakthrough came in Pal Joey in 1940, where his athleticism and raw magnetism caught Hollywood's attention. Unlike traditional dancers, Kelly brought a grounded physicality that felt modern and relatable. His film debut followed in For Me and My Gal in 1942, alongside Judy Garland, launching a career that would redefine musicals forever. Kelly rejected the idea that dance should feel removed from everyday life. Instead, he blended ballet, tap, modern movement, and ordinary gestures into something entirely new. He also reimagined how dance interacted with the camera, using tracking shots and spatial depth to turn movement into cinematic storytelling. Audiences didn't just watch Kelly dance, they moved with him, sharing emotion through rhythm and motion. Singing in the Rain and artistic perfection. Kelly's crowning achievement arrived with Singin' in the Rain in 1952, a film that captured the joy, anxiety, and transformation of Hollywood's transition to sound. The title sequence, with Kelly splashing through puddles beneath a street lamp, became one of cinema's most enduring images. What many didn't know was that Kelly performed the number while suffering from a severe fever, a testament to his relentless commitment. The film was more than entertainment. It was a masterclass in choreography, comedy, and storytelling. Kelly's ability to combine emotional sincerity with technical brilliance elevated the musical genre into art. The film's success solidified his reputation as not only a performer, but also a visionary thinker who understood cinema as movement, music, and meaning working in harmony. A pioneer who democratized dance. Throughout the 1940s and 1950s, Kelly starred in and choreographed landmark films such as On the Town, Anchors Aweigh, An American in Paris, and Brigadoon. His philosophy was radical for its time. Kelly believed dance belonged to everyone, not just classically trained elites. He fought to integrate movement naturally into narrative, allowing characters to dance because they felt compelled to, not because the script demanded it. This approach humanized the musical and expanded its emotional reach. Kelly was also deeply committed to social justice, pushing for integration and fairness in casting. His insistence on giving African-American performers equal visibility challenged Hollywood norms. Behind the scenes, Kelly was demanding, meticulous, and tireless, but his standards were driven by respect for the art form. He believed excellence was a responsibility, not an option. The man behind the spotlight and the cost of love. Gene Kelly's personal life unfolded alongside his professional ascent. His first marriage to actress Betsy Blair began in 1941 and reflected the hopeful optimism of his early career. Together, they raised a daughter, Carrie, before parting ways in 1957 as their lives moved in different directions. Kelly later married choreographer Gene Coyne, a partnership rooted in shared creativity and mutual respect. Their marriage brought stability and 2 children, but tragedy struck when Coyne died in 1973 after a long illness. Kelly was deeply affected, losing not only a wife, but a trusted collaborator. In 1990, he married Patricia Ward, who became his companion and caretaker during his final years. Each relationship reflected a different phase of his life, shaped by ambition, loss, resilience, and reflection. Donald O'Connor and a perfect creative balance. Among the many performers Gene Kelly worked with, his collaboration with Donald O'Connor stood out as uniquely joyful. Kelly admired O'Connor not just as a dancer, but as a complete entertainer shaped by vaudeville tradition. O'Connor's speed, comedic instinct, and fearless physicality impressed Kelly deeply. While Kelly was known for precision and control, O'Connor brought spontaneity and playfulness that balanced the set. Their chemistry in Singin' in the Rain felt effortless, especially in the Moses Supposes routine, which Kelly later described as pure joy. Kelly acknowledged that while he choreographed rigorously, it was O'Connor's timing and expression that made scenes soar. He often called O'Connor the funniest dancer he had ever seen, a remarkable compliment from someone who set the highest artistic standards. Respect forged through endurance and humility. Kelly's admiration for Donald O'Connor extended beyond performance. He respected O'Connor's resilience and humility, especially during physically punishing routines like Make 'em Laugh. O'Connor performed the number with such intensity that it left him exhausted for days, yet he never complained. Kelly saw this as proof of true professionalism, a love for entertaining that transcended comfort. Despite their age difference, the two shared a mutual understanding of discipline and sacrifice. O'Connor's light-hearted nature often eased tension on set, something Kelly valued deeply, knowing his own intensity could be demanding. In later interviews, Kelly consistently spoke of O'Connor with warmth, placing him alongside the greatest performers he had ever known. Their partnership, though brief, left an indelible mark on film history. Decline, dignity, and the quiet final act. In the late 1980s, Gene Kelly's health began to decline. The once tireless dancer grew frail, retreating from public life. In 1994, he suffered a serious stroke that left him hospitalized for weeks and permanently altered his mobility and speech. A second stroke in early 1995 further weakened him, ending any remaining independence. For a man whose identity was rooted in movement, the loss was profound. Yet those close to him noted his quiet dignity. He faced physical limitation with humility, supported by his wife Patricia and surrounded by memories of a life well lived. Kelly spent his final months at home, far from the spotlight he once commanded, but never far from the legacy he had built. A legacy that still dances. Gene Kelly passed away on February 2, 1996, at the age of 83, closing the final chapter of one of Hollywood's most transformative careers. His influence continues to ripple through cinema, dance, and popular culture. He redefined masculinity in musicals, expanded the language of film movement, and proved that joy could be intelligent and profound. His admiration for Donald O'Connor reflected his greatest strength, recognizing brilliance in others without ego. Kelly's life was not without struggle, but it was defined by purpose, integrity, and creative courage. Long after the music fades and the rain stops falling, Gene Kelly's legacy continues to move us, reminding the world that dance, when rooted in truth, becomes timeless.